Thursday Night Football. The Denver Broncos are on the road in Kansas City, taking on the Chiefs today. I got my favorite player prop and game pick on the way. What's going on? My name's Austin from Calling Our Shot. Let's do a quick recap from the last time you saw me for football. Monday Night Football, a 2-0 card. We desperately needed that with the Raiders winning that game outright. And Christian Watson is over in receiving yards. We'll take it. Let's continue that momentum going on to week 6. It hasn't been the greatest, first 5 weeks, but we have plenty of time to turn it around. Hopefully that little hot streak on Monday night will carry over into Thursday and then on into Sunday. We'll have plenty more videos for Sunday's NFL slate. So if you are new, do us a favor, hit that subscribe button, drop a like down below. If you ever need any sportsbook sign-up bonuses, if you want to use our links, they're all down below. You can use them for a bunch of those daily fantasy sites, plus a bunch of sportsbooks. You get deposit matches, risk-free bets, you name it. All details down below in the description. Look, I'm not going to waste any more of your time. I'm diving into my player prop. It's a little bit of a tricky one. I'm going to talk about it and give you some leans in case you can't take this exact one. Because here's what I'm doing with. I'm doing a same game parlay, 2 legs. Jerry Jeudy of the Denver Broncos, 40+ receiving yards, and Isaiah Pacheco of the Kansas City Chiefs, 50+ rushing yards. Now, personally, this is minus 118 on FanDuel, just putting 1 unit on it. Now, if you are, and if it does change the odds, I'd probably play it up to about minus 130 or so. But if you can't do this, and don't even bother if you're on DraftKings, don't even bother going to input it because it's like minus 190. I honestly love both their individual overs, but I feel like that's the easier way to do it. Obviously, they're kind of game script similar, assuming the Chiefs are 10.5-point favorites, get a lead, probably going to be running the ball a little bit more with Pacheco. Jerry Jeudy's going to be, the Broncos probably going to have to pass the ball a little bit more, but I really do like Jerry Jeudy's regular over in receiving yards. It's about 53.5. Personally, I just think it's a tad sharp of a line. We've seen the last couple of weeks, he's ended with 50 and like 53 yards right there. I think he can go over that and get 60+. I think this is a great matchup for him, but just worth noting, if you are going to take his regular individual prop, that would be the one I would do. Isaiah Pacheco at like 75.5, a tad too high for me. But let me talk about these 2 players. I'll let you guys give you a bunch of info. You can do what you want with it. I'm going to start with Jerry Jeudy first because he's coming off a string of three good games. I mean, he did start off the season injured, kind of missed their first week. Second week back, didn't play a ton of snaps, but he's been good the last couple weeks. 81, 52, and 50 yards. Like I said, get real close to that 53.5, and he's done that on 7, 5, and 7 targets. So this is a guy that they've been targeting a lot, and we saw last season versus Kansas City, Jeudy played well at 38 and 73 receiving yards, so barely going under on one of them. 7 and 8 receptions, though. He had a ton of targets. They're getting the ball to him, and I imagine that's going to be the case today. I mean, if you told me Jerry Jeudy got 7 receptions, yeah, I'd probably tell you there's like a 99% chance he gets at least 40+ receiving yards. That was just the one game he didn't get it done, but we've seen him at 40+ receiving yards in 13 of his last 16 games. He's a guy that when they're playing man coverage, it's one-on-one. Jerry Jeudy has a great connection with Russell Wilson. That's going to be the guy he's going to be targeting, and this is the Chiefs defense that plays a lot of man coverage, and I love Jeudy to be able to beat that coverage, but I also like him in zone coverage too, because you think about they're not playing zone cover or man coverage 80% of the time. They're doing like 30 to 35, play some zone coverage the rest of the time, and I like Jerry Jeudy, the number 1 receiver for Russell Wilson, to just be able to get some catches, sit in those zones and find those pockets, especially in what should be a pass-heavy game script for this Broncos offense. So we've seen Jeudy do well recently, and so I really do like Jerry Jeudy in this matchup. We've seen the Chiefs give up some receiving yards to opposing wide receivers last week. Just before getting injured, Justin Jefferson didn't have the greatest start, but Jordan Addison and KJ Osborne both picked it up, and they were also doubling Justin Jefferson, triple teaming him. Sometimes it felt like they're not going to do that to Jerry Jeudy on Thursday Night Football. Now, as for Isaiah Pacheco, he's going to probably be the most bet player prop over on the slate, taking his rushing yards over, and I understand why. And while I don't mind the line at 74.5, that feels a tad too high. So instead, we're asking him to get 50+ rushing yards here, which I think should be, he could maybe even do that in the first half. But let's talk about him over the last 4 games. Pacheco, 70, 62, 115, and a 55 rushing yards. Cleared it in all 4. Gotten close to that 74.5 line that he needs to clear his regular over, but 50+ in all those games. You're looking at his rushing attempts line, sit at 16.5. He's only had 17 carries, just one of those 5 games this season. So they're expecting him to get a big workload, and I expect him to get a lot of workload here too, in what should be a run-heavy game script for the Chiefs offense, especially with a banged-up Travis Kelce, who probably is still going to play, but still, he's banged up, not 100%. Pacheco's a great runner. I mean, it's fun to watch him. It feels like he's just running with his head cut off every single time, but the man is really fun to watch, and he's been really good taking this, Chiefs running back 1 role and just running with it. I mean, no pun intended. And you look at the Broncos, like I said, a lot of people are going to be on it for this reason alone. They're allowing 165.7 rushing yards per game to running backs. That's the worst in the NFL. 6.1 yards per carry, shouldn't be a surprise, worst in the NFL. So they've really struggled last week Brees Hall, 177. The week before that, Khalil Herbert, 103. 203 to Devon Achane, and the rest of the Dolphins running backs went berserk. That was when they scored 70. The week before that, Brian Robinson at 87. So you can see why a lot of people are on Pacheco's regular over and rushing yards, and I don't hate that one. I just rather take it down to 50. Honestly, don't mind it for 60. I just feel like if everyone's going to get screwed, he's going to end with like 68 or like 72. Just put a lot of people in pain. But we've seen, the proof's in the pudding. When he gets the ball, he does well. In 13 career games with 10 or more rushing attempts, he's had 50 plus in all 13. He's at 60 plus in 11 of 13. So going to get real close to that regular rushing yards line. I really like Pacheco. I really like Jerry Jeudy in these matchups. I think this is a really good spot to back both of them. I do think Cortland Sutton has a decent day. So if you want to put him for 25 plus rushing or receiving yards to maybe boost up the same game parlay value, I think that's solid. I think he gets more targets after a dud last week, but I really like Jerry Jeudy. They've seemed to target him in this matchup before. Sean Payton seems to trust him. So does Russell Wilson. I'm confident both these guys get 40 receiving yards for Mr. Jerry Jeudy and 50 rushing yards for Isaiah Pacheco, my favorite player prop of the weekend. But before we dive into my game pick, last week on Monday Night Football, Logan was on the video. He delivered a winner with Raiders money line, and I said if you guys got the video to 750 likes, I would bring him back for Thursday night, and you guys crushed it. I think we had over 800 something likes, which is ridiculous. So Logan's about to come on and give his pick for this game, but if you get this video to 8,000 likes, which I know you can, you almost hit it last video, then we will bring Logan back for Monday Night Football, the next primetime game. He's 1-0 on the channel for NFL picks. Let's see if he can continue that momentum into Thursday Night Football. I'm kicking it to you, Logan. Who are you rolling with on Thursday Night Football?
Yeah, so we're looking to build off of our Raiders money line win. And this one, I'm taking the Broncos plus 10.5, minus 110 odds on DraftKings, currently your best value there. Now it's 10.5 across all books. I would be surprised if this one does change. And I know this is a nasty pick. Get your keyboards out. Let Austin and I know how much you are not riding with the Broncos in this one. I still think Denver is the right side to be on in this one. You look, we have a divisional game on a short week. 10.5 points is just too many if you eliminate the bias that you might have about Russell Wilson and the Broncos defense for that matter. If you eliminate all those biases, you can kind of see how taking the points is not that bad of a bet to take in this one. We know the Chiefs own the Broncos. That's without a doubt. They've won 15 consecutive games. But Thursday Night Football is where weird stuff can happen. It's where the short week happens and these teams have less time to prepare. I actually think that benefits Denver in this one. We also look at Mahomes. He isn't as great of a double-digit favorite in his career as you might think. Mahomes is only 8-13 against the spread as a double-digit favorite in his career. He always gets those massive spreads because it makes a lot of sense to back the Chiefs and their high-powered offense and everything. But what we're not thinking about is how Thursday home teams have done. Thursday home teams have not been great against the spread, 19-31 against the spread in Thursday night home games. So do you really want to lay all those points with Kansas City? I personally don't. I want to take Denver, especially with Travis Kelce's injury status up in the air. At the time we're recording this, not really sure what Travis Kelce is going to be. Is he going to play on that short week? How healthy can he be with a quick turnaround? Do the Chiefs even want to risk that injury? Whether he plays or not, will it move the line? Maybe it does. But even if he's out there, I'm still doubting he's 100%. And in terms of vulnerability, this Chiefs defense isn't exactly lights out. This is the pathway for the Broncos to cover. Kansas City, 21st in yards per carry allowed. Their defense has given up some rushing. As long as Denver isn't down 1 million points, they're still going to try to run the ball. If they can establish the run on Kansas City and also take the pass rushers out of the game for Kansas City and get into those short and intermediate type throws like we saw Jimmy G do on Monday Night Football, we'll be in actually really good shape to cover this one. Broncos have the wide receivers to make plays in the short and intermediate zones. Denver has a 66.9% completion percentage. And we look at what this Kansas City defense wants to do. They're number 4 in man coverage rate, number 30 in zone coverage rate. Well, that's good news for us because Russell Wilson is actually number 5 in passer rating versus man coverage, number 10 in completion percentage versus man coverage. So they know how to run those man beaters, and that's exactly what the Denver offense is going to do. Hopefully they can dink and dunk their way into staying competitive into this game because I'm not going to lie to you. This Denver defense is trash. There's absolutely no way I can come on here and try to spin that at all because they've been bad. They've been historically bad. But with a 10.5 point spread, we've seen heavily favored teams not necessarily run up the score and try to get out of Thursday with a win. players and coaches hate Thursday night games. They're not going to want to go out there and try to, win by 30. That's just not really how the NFL works these days. And everyone is on Pacheco rushing props with how bad the Denver defense is against the run. That's okay. I wouldn't mind seeing Kansas City, use a ton of Pacheco, because Kansas City running the ball helps us, with this bet. If Denver can come up with a few red zone stops and Kansas City's continuing to chew clock, we'll actually be in a great spot to cover. They just have to be able to get off the field in those third downs and honestly, I think they can hold Mahomes to a few field goals. The pathway to victory and a 10.5-point spread, it leaves a huge, backdoor potential open, because, Kansas City could be up 17 points, sort of letting their foot off the gas. Russell Wilson and them go down, get a touchdown backdoor. How many times in NFL have we seen the backdoor wide open? I just think 10.5 is too many points in this one. Look, you can love it or hate it. Taking Denver with the points, sort of a nasty pick, but I think it gets the job done on Thursday night.
Yeah, Logan, that's kind of nasty, but I'm all with you. I really do like the Broncos got a chance. It's going to be an ugly one. Haven't covered all year, but I like the analysis. I'm going to roll with you. Broncos plus 10.5 for 1 unit. Let's hope they can get it done. Let's hope we can have a back-to-back 2-0 cards. That would be absolutely awesome. Continue that momentum into Sunday, where we'll have plenty more videos. Let us know your favorite picks down below. Hit the subscribe button, drop a like. If we hit 1,000 likes, Logan will return for Monday Night Football in a couple days. It's Austin, Logan. We're signing out. We'll see you guys back again for some more Sunday NFL content. We'll see you then. Peace.